right, here we go. Episode 26. You thought we'd be cut off at 2, and here we are at 26. You know why? Because we don't care. Right. We don't care. And all of the people that go, why do you continue to do that? It's because, man, I don't care. I need some form of entertainment, and this is about what I get.
That's correct. And still want to remind you that it is still the number one monument builder podcast in the
highest rated podcast for monuments in the world. Highest rated.
That's right.
Number one. Nobody's better. They've they've all just come to pretend.
And that's why we're never going to change the genre of it, because the moment we go to a different topic, all of a sudden, we fall down in ranking.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like if we changed, we'd be like Garth Brooks becoming Chris Gaines.
Where are the bodies, Garth?
Is it too early? Should we be talking about Garth? I mean, all that stuff just came out yesterday.
He's in a little hot water. It sounds like, and who knows whether or not the allegations are true. But
I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying it's false. I don't know. Correct. I don't know that I care either way. Really, honestly, I mean, here's my statement to Garth: is that go make better music.
So Garth, if you're listening,
yeah, like better music.
Go back to the 90s, Garth.
Thank you.
Yes.
When the thunder rolled.
Right.
And the lightning struck. Oh my gosh. He was the Taylor Swift of the 90s.
Just a better dressed Taylor Swift of the 90s.
Mm-hmm. So, hey,
I'm all about bringing those Indian print shirts back.
Dude, I like he had the flame shirt. Remember the flame shirt?
Oh, heck yeah. Standing outside the fire.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, happy Bandit Day. It's
10-4, good buddy.
10-4, good buddy. But all right, so we're back. We all made it. We all survived. I think we all survived.
Survived Oklahoma.
Survived Oklahoma. I have to say that Oklahoma impressed, but for what it's worth, when you go in with low expectations, the bar is pretty low. No, we had a great time. That downtown area was very clean, pretty. Good food. Obviously, great folks. Mm-hmm. And then, by the way, the King Ranch store will give you beer.
They will.
And the Casey store will give you bourbon, if you're curious. They prefer to give you
yourself in Oklahoma City and you need to wet your whistle. There's a
yeah. And as far as you and I could tell, you could walk around downtown with an open container.
We asked, and they said, well, everybody else does. Now, there may be a law against it.
We walked by a police officer.
We did. It was going to be put to the test very quickly. But do not bring that beer back into the hotel bar.
No. That was a no-no. And the funny thing is we discovered right after that that lady and I went to the same high school.
That's correct.
So, and she still wouldn't let me drink my outside beer. I said, look, do I have to get rid of this, or can I finish this and order another drink? She said, no, you got to get rid of it. You got to be kidding me. So do I got to go outside, or you pour it out?
No, I saw her head you off, and I just kind of held mine down low and just turned around. And that's whenever Steve was right behind me, and I was like, turn around.
Oh man. Yeah, no, she stopped it pretty quick, but I was like, yeah, it's all right. I was already going to get another drink, so just let it go.
That's correct.
So, well, tell me, what's your impressions? How was it for you? First trip,
man. It surpassed any expectation that I had, just even remotely. You couldn't have a better group come together, especially all of them are very willing and open to share a lot of what they do. And you can tell that every person there has nothing but the best for everybody in that room. it seems like it is a collective effort of, you know, ensuring and helping others succeed within that group.
Yeah, and that's,
It
I
was
mean,
awesome.
everybody's extremely willing to go above and beyond and help. And I've had questions about just bizarre things. Hey, have you ever done this or have you ever done that? And man, they're never have I been once turned down. Now they may not have the right answer, or they may not know, but they know how to point me in that direction. And that's worth its weight in gold. So,
no, and I mean, and if you could tally up the years of experience in that group, it, you'd be hard pressed to ever, be in another organization or a group or whatever that could even come close to that.
Yeah.
And of course, like I told a lot of people, I felt like a small fish in a very large ocean because a lot of these people in AICA, they have a pedigree in this industry, that they come from multi-generational businesses, and here I am, just a first gen startup.
Yep.
And which, of course, you're in the same boat, but you've been in a little while longer. You're a veteran now.
Yeah, that word was used on me about me earlier by another AICA member on the phone, and I was like, that means old." The term, it means old,
right? Yeah,
but no. I'm trying to decide. You said how many multi-generational shops, and I guess one question is that are you multi-generational as an individual there if you weren't born at the shop but maybe you married into it, or you bought into the shop? Does that count?
I'd have to say yes, it does count, especially those that they married in, and it wasn't necessarily what they grew up doing, but of course then they married in and then just assimilated into the business, and they're just running it as a continuation of that.
Right, because you have shops like John Reese acquiring memorials, acquiring monuments up in the Seattle area, who's he owns and runs it. Kathy actually doesn't work there. She got a real job, and she is. But he's worked there for a long time. His father-in-law was multi-generational, and then you got Brooke Bolton, who's got a new startup, but married into a monument shop and all kinds of stuff. And so you go like, man, there's some merit to. And there's a lot of merit I give to Brooke because, he knew the business and then he started up, and you go like, that's the hard part, right? The startup part's difficult. Not that running the business isn't hard and building the business isn't hard. It's the taking of I don't know what this is going to do. And I'm going to take this risk and step out and do it. That's where things get a bit hairy.
Oh, 100%.
So, but no, I'm trying to think through that and think of how many shops there are first gen. I think it is you and me as I think through it.
Yeah, true first gens that we had no background in this prior to getting into it. And man, I'll tell you one of the things, it's frustrating, but at the same point in time, it's inspirational to me. Whenever Jed gave his presentation, and towards the end, it was the design contest. Everybody draw something based upon, you get an image to get some inspiration from. And of course, I've got to do that before whenever he came and spoke to us in the Woodlands. So at least I was a little bit more mentally prepared this go round. But just the amount of true blue artists that there are in that group. And of course, I use my iPad, and so I cheated a little bit. But just seeing some of these hand-drawn images that some of these people turned into, like, oh my gosh, he was sitting right behind me. I totally forgot his name.
I'm trying to think of who was sitting behind you. Because you were next to me. I don't.
Phil Ruff.
Oh yeah, Phil Ruff. Yeah, the Canadian.
The Canadian. America's
Great
Hat.
dude.
Mhm.
Yes.
But the drawing that he turned in was one that, in my opinion, could have been turned into the AICA drawing contest as a conceptual drawing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not only did he just do a drawing, but it was a perspective drawing.
Yep.
And man,
Well,
like,
and the checks on his base, the way he stepped back, he didn't just step back the base; he stepped back the check on it as well. So, so many multi-dimensional pieces within what he drew. It was crazy.
mhm.
Of course, Terry Joy is always going to be Terry Joy. I mean, when I talk
Yes.
about my list of top designers in the country, it's Terry Joy number one. Brand Oswalt to me is number two.
Mhm.
Number three goes back and forth, really kind of depending upon the year, between Monica Johns and Dan Bellin up in
Mhm.
Canada. And Dan Bellin's just on this whole different level. Dan is the full package because it's really well done design. And then add to that really well done photo taking and just installation. He's just the full thing.
Mhm.
So,
And then you had Harvard's drawing.
yeah.
It was Mickey Mouse.
He's like, no.
Yeah.
Harvard shop's really cool because it's so old. And they do a lot of that older stuff and matching. I mean, they're in Philadelphia, so they're matching a lot of that really old stuff. And man, he's a cool dude. It just super chill, and he and I've become friends over the years. And but he's a real good dude. So
Mhm. I'd have to say that he has one of the most unique logos out of
Yeah.
any of us for his company.
Oh yeah. No, that it's
I love it.
that old stamp look of
Mhm.
I want one
Yep.
of his shirts.
Oh,
Certainly
heck
he's got
yeah.
a t-shirt of that. I'd wear that everywhere.
Oh yeah, definitely so.
So
No, but outside of the convention, I'll tell you the thing that I enjoyed most was getting to go down to the Oklahoma City Memorial.
the bombing memorial.
Yes,
Yeah.
the bombing memorial. That was it was very sobering
Mhm.
to be down there and see it. And of course, we went back in the evening the next day so we could see it at
Mhm.
nighttime. And seeing it at nighttime, that was just an entirely different take on it.
Yeah, it's super. I think sobering is the right word. It's when you're standing there, and for you and I, we were alive, remembering it. We were old enough to remember the whole thing going down.
Mhm.
We lived all that. There goes the train.
Yep, train.
We had the steam engine go by earlier. Big boy.
Oh,
4041. Yeah.
Oh man,
It went by this morning, and then it's supposed to come back through on Monday.
you gotta
So
get some pictures of that.
we were going to go out and do it, and I was on the phone. I forgot all about it, and then Janine gets all excited and goes and opens the door while I'm on the phone, and I can't hear myself think. It's so loud in my office. Yeah, but no. Being out there, being able to walk around and see that place, and having lived it, and remember seeing the images live on TV, and
Mhm.
remembering them, trying to figure out what to do, and then you go through that museum, and
Oh yes.
the museum is built so well off the timeline. Like you
Mhm.
walk the timeline of that thing, and it's just so crazy.
Mhm. Yeah. Of course, there's the first part that you walk into that was just kind of what was going on in Oklahoma
Mhm.
City around that time, and then whenever
Yeah.
you go into the replica of the water board building, and
Mhm.
whenever you get to hear that audio and hear it actually happen,
Yeah.
and understand that 168 people were gone
Yeah.
just in that instant, or well, not all 168 at the same time. There was a few afterwards, but
Yeah.
yeah. And then, of course, the doors open up, and the first thing you're presented with is the newsreel footage
Mhm.
of everything that happened. It was, like you said, that museum was very, very well laid out.
Oh yeah. It was it. We went in there and we listened to the audio and of that, and got my tongue. You kind of see all the stuff going on ahead of time, and before you go into that room, and it's there was a convention going on downtown at that same time, and we're sitting here looking at all this, going, "Whoa, okay, well, all right," kind of just like any other museum. But when you go in and you sit down, and there's no video, I didn't see a single video of the blast anywhere in there. No. I got on YouTube, tried to see if I could find a video of the blast. I don't think there is one, at least to my knowledge. And so, but when you're sitting in that room, there's no video. There's just the audio recording of a meeting that was going on at that time. And so the recording was over a water dispute for mineral rights or land rights, something like that. And you realize it's between two neighbors. And all of a sudden, the blast goes off and everything just changes. Mm-hmm. You go, the whole tone in the room changed for the people that were there.
Oh, yeah.
And then you start going through and you're seeing all this stuff. The car keys that were found, right? The glasses, all these just little things that just lost, or all kinds of different stuff that was there. It's so bizarre. I don't know that bizarre is the right word, but it just, I didn't know really how to take it in. But it's such a cool place, cool museum. They did a great job out there for that. And, thanks to Jed and the AICA board for setting that up, because that was awesome.
Oh, yeah. And if anything, seeing the actual memorial outside, that right there is proof positive as far as like how that memorial was designed. It's very simple.
Yeah,
it is very simple, but there's so much meaning in that simplicity of it. And it makes me think to whenever I'm sitting down here at my desk working on a design for a headstone.
Yeah.
You do not have to go ornate. You do not have to go over the top. Sometimes a simplistic design that you can convey that meaning in that simplicity is a lot more.
Sorry, I just got a text from our buddy Jason.
Oh, how's old Campbell doing?
He sent me this picture here.
Oh, he got his truck.
Yep.
Looks good.
And we had an interesting turn of events while we were there, and I won't go into detail because I don't want to publicize what was going on yet until I've decided how this is getting handled. But we may end up. He's sending that to me because I may be in the market for a crane on the truck as well. And so, anyways, but no, such a good show, good convention. Enjoyed the education. Got a lot out of Nathan's talk on AI. I figured it was just going to be a revamp of our conversation. He joked about that. Going into, he goes, I'm just going to get up there and play your podcast. But the things that he brought up that we probably need to go over and expound on if he's okay with it is as useful tools is huge.
Oh yeah. Like he is a heavy adopter of AI.
Oh yeah.
And he's not, and a lot of people, whenever they think using AI, they're thinking about just using it for design, but he's using it for almost every aspect of his business, from being able to record, conversations in the company, and then being able to have, rundowns of that printed out for you, even down to just the safety and training videos that he's made.
Yeah.
It was awesome what he's doing.
No, he's got it. He has planned out with that stuff very well. I was highly impressed. But I hadn't bought yet the little deal, the Plaws. Did you buy that yet?
I have not yet. I have it in an Amazon cart right now, though.
Yeah. I looked at it, and I have not bought it yet because I wanted to come in, and I just hadn't had a chance to talk to my staff about it and how many do I need and where are we all going to use them at, because there's sometimes with difficult customers, you just want to make sure you've got everything down, or long conversations with clients. If it's a big project, having all that information written down so you don't forget it.
Yes.
In this Plaus device, he talked about, will audio record all that and then turn it into the
same size as a credit card.
Absolutely. It's teeny tiny.
Mm-hmm. You can use it to standalone record, or you can mag attach it to the back of your phone and it will record your phone conversation.
Yes. Yep. And then it will give you, it basically create a outline of that conversation, and bullet points and all that kind of stuff, and then give you key elements that needed to be brought up or taken care of on it. It's just super cool on what it can do and how it can help. I need to actually bring it up to my home building buddy, because I think he goes through meetings nonstop with families. I think that would be huge for him. But
and for those of you that are looking, that you're interested in it, or you just want to research it yourself, it's PLAUD, Plod.
Yep.
You can find it on Amazon. Of course, they have a website themselves, and there's even a newer version out than what Nathan has. But I still think the one that he has would be the one I'd go for.
I liked the one he had. It's I can slide it into my wallet, keep it in the truck, or keep it on my desk. It's not taking up so much space.
Use it when you're talking to your wife. That way, you can go back and reference the conversation.
I would never do that. I listen to my wife when she speaks to me.
Well, I do too. It's just that I forget about what she said about 30 seconds after the conversation's over.
Squirrel.
Exactly.
That was really good. Enjoyed listening to, of course, there's a couple introductory deals. Did you give your introductory one?
Not officially. I gave some people a rundown, whenever I got the opportunity to meet some of them, and I think it went over well. There was only a few eye rolls, so
yeah.
I think it came out all right.
Well, I mean, and you were born into a middle class family, right?
I was.
No, wait. So we enjoyed listening to some of those guys get up and speak, and then we had the talk about Gene Fainley, which was great. The talk about Harold Schaller and his work and what he did. It's important to remember those things and to remember those guys that came before us. I've got my book to you.
I've already started reading it.
Oh, you started reading it already?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's good. It's good.
Yeah. It's important to remember the guys that came before us. I've said this about tools too, right? It's important to know how this thing works. And for those of y'all who can't see, because we haven't done video yet, that doesn't helping you. This is a scale. I've got an architectural scale over here, and I've got a engineering scale. And it's important to know how these things work and how to use them, because you can't know what it's good for. It's better than just drawing lines, right? It's understanding being able to read blueprints really quick and those kind of things. Using things like, I know micrometers are kind of a thing of the past, but they're important. I'm not saying learn how to use a slide rule. I would love to learn how to use a slide rule.
Have you ever looked at just purchasing a slide rule?
I had one at one point in time, and I can't find it.
They are not cheap.
I had one that was.
You can get like a little piece of junk plastic one, but if you
no,
yeah,
the one I have is not cheap. I just don't know where it is. I stored it. It got misplaced or placed in something in one of my moves, and I don't know where it is. But it's mine. That one's in a leather hip case. So, like, you want to get super nerdy? That's super nerdy.
Oh yeah.
But it's understanding those tools is important, because you can understand where you came from and understand what those tools are useful for and what they've done for you to improve things. The same is true with understanding the people who came before us, right? And the gentleman I spoke with earlier brought it up. He said, my age group, which is yours and Aaron Fanley's and whatnot, we look to the guys that came before us, like Gene Fanley and Burt Gast and Mike Fanley, Charlie Hunt, Mike Johns, Jim Peterson, Jed Hendrickson, all these guys, all these names, right? And I can go on and on and on and list all these names of people that have inspired the work that I do. Bill Boone, those kind of folks. And he pointed out to me, he said, yeah, that's fixed. That's happening. You're there now. You're the next group. And it's important to remember those guys and continue to talk about them to the next generation. But we're the generation that the next set of crew is going to talk about like that.
Oh yeah. And you can't help but have a little bit of like an imposter syndrome feeling.
It's bizarre to me. He said that. Yes. I said, I have a hard time with it, but whatever. I don't understand it. But it is what it is, I guess. And I would rather be there to educate and point people to the people who assisted me. And I don't mean, hey, go talk to them, but say, hey, look, these are the people who got me to where I'm at because of the things I learned, and share that information so that their legacy continues to live on.
Absolutely.
Right. And not let those things just pass or move on. The things that Scott Lucan taught me are worth its weight in gold to me. And so those are the things that I never want to see go away. And it's fortunate that we're kind of like, because of groups like AICA, we're able to see and be with those people in such a niche thing, right? A niche event where we don't have vendors, and I'm always an advocate for vendors being somewhere, but this particular event is different.
Correct.
It's a chance for us to learn how to better serve the families, but better design and better produce and those kind of things more one-on-one. So great show. Enjoyed it immensely, as always.
Oh yeah.
So,
and then the glass art place.
Yeah.
That was Art Fusion Studio.
Yes, Art Fusion Studio
was awesome.
and they didn't pay us to say their name, but Art Fusion Studio in Oklahoma City. They've actually done some work for me, and they do great work. They actually currently had a piece sitting there for Linda Morris, and I think Marla was supposed to take it back, and she said no, I'm not carrying it on the bus.
I've already reached out to them, and I'm in talks with them. I'm going to have them do a couple different pieces. I don't have anything that's like for an active customer right now, but I want to be able to display a couple of things. And
you bought the skull, didn't you?
No, but I thought it was really cool.
I want them to open it up and put a handle on it so I can drink my coffee out of it.
Oh yeah. No, that it's really neat seeing what those people have done. And of course, they're not just working with glass, they're working with metal, they're working with wood, they're combining all three of these. And oh crud. What was the award that was given?
Which one, the Fanley, or which one are you talking about? Which award?
One that came from glass, from Art Fusion.
Oh, you're talking about mine?
No. It was presented to somebody. It was kind of like a blue half moon shape. It was really neat. It came from Art Fusion.
I'm trying to think.
I know somebody will know. I can't remember. It's I'm still kind of hurting from Tuesday, but whatever.
Tuesday got a little late.
Tuesday got a little late, and it got really late for some people that had to be at the airport at 3 a.m.
Well, yeah,
that wasn't me.
Yeah, it wasn't me. We will protect the identity of said individual
That's correct.
Who had to be at the airport 2 hours before the flight.
Right.
But no, yeah, it's man, I just that's I'm glad now you can see why that's one of those groups and the trips I cherish every time. It is one of those groups that
and I'm not trying to say that SMBA or MBNA are irrelevant to me anymore, because they both of those organizations and their meetings that they hold, they're still important for me. They're still important for me to go to, but the conversation is a lot different.
Yes.
At AICA.
Yes. It's the understanding of it being different that makes it. I enjoy going to that very much, and because I learned so much there. I mean, it is all educational time, except for the free time. But I think my biggest thing that I missed out on was that I didn't have enough time to spend with all the people I wanted to.
Correct.
As I got in the truck to head home, I realized I didn't see Bill Boone that much. I didn't spend a lot of time with Terry Joy or Monica or just go down the list. Harvard, I didn't talk to him barely at all, other than to harass him about things. So it's
don't worry, Harvard talked to everybody though. I really like that guy. He's awesome.
Yeah. Got to spend time with a few minutes talking to Mike Murphy, and got to spend time talking to Lisa Troost, who's, I swear, you can at me all you want, but Lisa is one of the smartest individuals in the industry, hands down. She understands the business of it. She gets it. And she's incredibly intelligent. So, but yeah, great trip. I made it home 5.5 hours back after the, we kind of meandered our way back as best we could, I guess. Stopped at some, if you're going through Oklahoma City, stop in Moore and get you some Black Rifle coffee. So, but it was great.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to next year.
Yeah. Sedona, Arizona.
Never been.
I don't even know what's there. I'm betting
all I know is you have to fly into Flagstaff, and then you're going to rent a car and drive about 40 minutes.
Well, so it sounds like you and I are splitting a car.
Might as well.
Sedona, Arizona. Let's see. Oh my gosh, if this is where we're going, just holy cow. The mountains are absolutely phenomenally gorgeous. So that's I can see myself enjoying myself there.
Definitely so.
So, but what else is going on in the world?
Oh man. Not to get, to dim the mood or anything, but, as far as what's going on in the world, I feel terrible for people like through North Carolina and just,
it is tough. The stuff going on there right now is, I feel so bad for those folks. I know that, somebody had asked, and before we left, I'd asked about how folks were in Elberton when the storm hit there. And it seems like they did all right. Down trees, and like if you had a rough go of it in Elberton, I know there were down trees. I don't know how many hit houses or if any of them hit houses. It sounded like power was out for a few days, but down trees, and that's cleared, and kind of the worst of it. I would say what hit Eastern Tennessee and Western North Carolina is going to turn out to be on par with what happened to New Orleans and Katrina. And
there's some small towns and localities there that almost don't exist anymore.
Correct. That we'll never see again. And I hate it. It's a beautiful part of the country. with when it was New Orleans, I'm not disparaging New Orleans. It's a big city. It's a very strong culture. You kind of knew that they would bounce back. And I'm not saying that people in Carolinas don't have strong culture, but they just don't have the population for it. And really, a lot of them don't have the industry there. And so then you go, what's going to happen? So I know that there's a number of folks that are out there that are monument guys. If y'all end up getting some, if y'all find time and listen to the podcast, man, more power to you. I hope we can bring some comfort to you guys in this time, and cutting up to make me put a smile on your face. But man, we're thinking about you and we're praying for you guys. And y'all got a tough road ahead of you. And man, if I can help out in any way, shape, or form, or any other monument company, if we can help y'all out, I'm sure we'll be there. Y'all got a long path ahead of you guys, and I hate that for y'all. But I know that somebody had asked how things were going out there and if everybody was safe. Greg Daniels, who's out that way in Old Fort, North Carolina, he posted a picture of monument builders, and every street in that downtown is covered in mud, and it's not pretty. And somebody had asked about Ben Martin. I'll say that I have not talked to Ben Martin yet. I know, and I'm not trying to air his stuff by any stretch of the imagination. What I do know is that he is I can't remember if he's a trustee or a board member for MBNA, but he was at their board meeting on Wednesday. He did have a hard time getting back home. Had to fly into South Carolina, couldn't get a car, and had to rent a box van to drive back to get home and out that way. From my understanding and what I've been told, he made it back. It took him quite some time. It took him 3 hours longer than it should have. To get back, and
golly.
I understand he has some damage to his home, but everybody's okay. Good, which is a blessing, a massive blessing. You know what? I'll give up all the stuff I have to keep my family safe. That's by all means. So, prayers to you guys out there. I hate that for y'all. Wish y'all the best. Let us know if y'all had anything along the way, but y'all got a long road ahead of you.
Definitely so.
I know that even some of the major roads they're saying won't be back open at all. One of them for over a year.
Yeah. Well into 2025.
Yeah. So it's a lot going on out that way, but, no, I mean, I hate that, but it is kind of the nature of those storms.
Yes, sir.
So,
yes, sir.
What else? I mean, and I know we've got some people that are. I posted photos today of some exciting installs. Did you see the photos I posted on Monument Builders?
I saw that, and that is it's very brave of you to post some of your work like that.
The guys had gone to do an install out there and said, "What is this?" And said, "I've been in." I think the actual, the actual statement I got back was, "I've been doing installs all wrong this whole time." And they send that, and I'm looking at it, I'm going, "What the heck am I looking at?" For those of y'all who aren't on the Monument Builders group, what you saw was a flat marker sitting on just pine boards that would have been used for the banding of that stone.
And you can tell they have been sitting there a hot minute.
Oh yeah.
That's not like, okay, we're going to come back tomorrow. This is, well, we're done.
And And the other one, and it's like, this is a Georgia gray. It's not like it's anything crazy. It's just a Georgia gray piece. And then the other one is a veneered, like, countertop slab of marble.
I just zoomed in. I can see
glued
it now.
together. And I swear to you, I can't figure out, if you zoom in on the lettering, it looks like it had vinyl letters on it and they wore off.
And now you're just left with the stain of the adhesive.
Yep.
Yeah.
And because if you look at the final date on it, it says 22 on that one.
And if you were just to be walking by and looking at it, you'd swear it's like next to a century-old headstone, as weathered looking as it is. The way the font is just next to, you barely can read any bit of it. And I see it now. Even the vases are veneered.
Oh yeah,
or just veneer, all glued together.
Well, and you've got
earlier in the week, Jeremiah sent me a picture of a headstone in a cemetery he was doing an install in.
One of his.
I told him, I said, you need to step it up, bud. We can order these in solid pieces. You do not have to glue it together. Quit cutting corners. Do it the right way. But he asked if I'd ever seen anything like that, and unfortunately, we do see them quite a bit up here from time to time. And I call them
sad
Mexico.
Ones.
I call them Mexico monuments.
Yeah.
That's where they're coming from.
Yep. And what's interesting is they actually go as far to make sure that there's foam inside of them. They'll put them like on styrofoam, wrap them in styrofoam, which is crazy. Like, you've already just did a halfway job. Why the heck are you even bothering with the styrofoam?
I've seen it to where they will fill the cavity with concrete, sometimes expanding foam, sometimes styrofoam, like you said. There's one in a Catholic cemetery here in my town, and it stands probably about 7 foot tall. And whenever they put it up, they did all this wood cribbing around it, so I guess it would kind of adhere in place. And of course, the cribbing's gone now. But it's kind of a running bet here around the shop of how much longer does this thing have before it just completely crumbles to the ground. Because you can already see some of the seams have started to separate a little bit.
How long has it been out there?
It's been out there about 2 years now, which it's surpassed what I thought it was going to do.
Yeah,
it's definitely not built for the long haul.
Kudos to them for getting 2 years out of it. I mean, I guess it's that kind of mindset of like, how cheap can you go? And apparently, don't let up. Somebody will always do it cheaper. They'll probably also tell you that you're ripping everybody off. But you're gouging everybody on your prices. But nevertheless, somebody will always do it cheaper.
Oh, absolutely. There's always somebody willing to do it cheaper. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people that they just want that instant lick of, I bought it cheaper. And sometimes they find out that the cheaper route, unfortunately, is going to cost them double to triple down the road.
No, it's the veneer ones drive me up the wall. I mean, I don't know. Most of the veneer ones I see are usually like a flat top shape, but I have seen a few of them that are serp top. And if you've seen how they do it, they're just segmented little pieces of a countertop that are glued. So if you go look at the top of it, there's like 500 pieces across the top of the stupid thing. And you're like, what are you doing? Why did you that's a lot that you put way more effort into it doing that than if you'd have just done it the right way.
We had a family bring us a bench that same construction style, just the veneer glued together, and they were wanting to know how much we would set it for, and I told them that, like, I don't even want to touch it. Like, I'm afraid. He said, no, it's pretty strong, and I said, no, it's pretty not. It's surely it's going to fall apart one day. And I saw it sitting out in the cemetery here within the past couple of weeks or so. So either they found somebody to set it or they set it themselves, and there's already pieces laying on the ground around it.
No, it's pretty strong.
No, it's not.
No, God, that stuff, that kind of construction drives me nuts because it's just trash.
Oh yeah, and people wonder why we charge what we charge sometimes. And I know I have a good idea what your prices are. You have a good idea what my prices are. And we're definitely not the highest that you'll ever hear of. And we're definitely not the lowest you'll ever hear of by a long stretch, because one, it takes money to run a business, and two, we're really focusing on putting out the best quality product we can for a family.
Yeah.
And
people got to understand,
not do any of that corner cutting.
People got to understand that things have gone up. Prices have gone up, right?
Everything has gone up.
We were clearing out a, oh yeah.
Did you go buy your toilet paper?
No, because I'm sure that my Chinese toilet paper that's manufactured in Georgia or in Wisconsin is sold out. But everything's gone up unless you're getting a check from FEMA for disaster relief.
$750.
Yeah. Well, that's because we've got to give it to those who aren't citizens. So, the biggest thing that folks forget about, and we were cleaning out an old filing cabinet. And I say old. The stuff in my filing cabinet is not nearly as old as the stuff in like Perry Giles' filing cabinet, right? But we're actively digitizing old files. So we're trying to make sure that we've got backups of them. Where I'm at right this second is I'm trying to decide, do we keep the old files after we've digitized them, or do we throw them out? Because once I throw them out, you can't get them back. They're gone. And I'm like, maybe we'll hold on to them. Do we hold? Anyways, there were a bunch of old sales catalogs and stuff like that from vendors and price books and whatnot. Well, I came across a price book from one of my Georgia vendors back in 18, and a 2x6x2 was $172 in 18. Just the die. It's before discounts or anything like that. That's just the book price.
Yep.
Today, same stone is $279.
Easily.
We looked it up.
Well, so I can remember whenever I first started buying granite. And again, before discounts, shipping, and anything that adds or takes away from it. 201004 Georgia Gray marker. The first time I ever bought it, it cost me $32. And now it's, depending upon which supplier you're looking at, double to triple.
I think it's 110. I gotta look. I don't remember.
Yeah, but
when I looked at that, I did the math on it. You're talking about a 62% increase on that Georgia Gray. I'm not. Look, I'll be one of the first, and people will go, no, it shouldn't have gone up that much. Maybe it shouldn't have, but it had been too low for a long time. I don't. We can go back and forth. Is it fair? Is it right? Blah blah blah. It doesn't matter. Everything went up. Everything's more expensive. And it had been too low for a very, very long time. And it's probably much too high for right now, but it is what it is. And people are still buying it. Yeah, people are still buying it. I mean, I've got to sell it and got to get it here and all that. So all that to say, when people go, oh, it's too high. Well, the people in Georgia and the people in Dakota and China and all the, from your third party importers, right, to your major manufacturers here in the U.S., they've got margins. They work on smaller margins than we do. They just sell a crap ton of volume. Okay, that's how things work. When people go, oh, they're price gouging, blah 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 blah. Look, the grocery stores are not price gouging you. They operate on less than 3%. It's all volume. That's their margins are less than 3%. My father-in-law, who retired from Exxon, told me once. He said that Exxon does not make it. It makes money on oil and gas, but it makes considerably more money on the things that are sold in the C-store than it does on the gas. The government taxes more on a gallon of gas than Exxon makes on it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, those small margins take an awful lot of volume to make any money.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we as retailers operate on smaller volume. We have higher margins.
Right.
So it's how that works. It's how it functions. In order to be able to continue to do this, it's kind of the nature of the beast. Now, that being said, we can't sit here and disparage the vendors for having gone up on pricing. And look who it is. What you doing, man? Sorry, guys. That was a distraction. Wes ran into the camera.
Boss, you can't tell me what to do anymore.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know Wes, he used to work here, and he took another job here in the area, not with another monument company, but
because that would be jacked up if he took a job with another monument.
If he did, like that whole interaction right there, that wouldn't have ever happened.
Maybe if he'd have brought beer, would it have changed it?
It possibly could have. I'm easy to buy off. But I told him from the day one that he started work here that if there was ever an opportunity that was put in front of him that I couldn't match, he needs to be concerned about himself and his future. And he did it, and I think we're still friends. Oh, he says no.
No, but you get to looking at those margins and things like that, and you start talking about what those numbers need to be, and you go, we've got those companies are. We're asking them at times to cut into their margins so that we can sell something.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not very often that the retailers are cutting into their margins.
No. Well,
right?
and if you want an even worse situation, I can go back to what I used to do as a farmer.
Mm-hmm.
Farmers today are getting paid about the same dollar amount for the commodities that they grow, whether it be corn, cotton, peanuts, anything like that. The commodity price really has not changed since the 90s. But input costs have all just exponentially gone up.
Mm-hmm.
Diesel, fertilizer, seed. Whenever my dad first started out cotton farming, he was paying about $15 a bag for cotton seed. And now it's upwards about $400 a bag.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. But they have all this. And then of course, if you're an irrigated farmer, you're having to pay for either natural gas or electricity to run your wells for irrigation. And of course, everybody knows your electric bill has gone up, and well, so has farmers. Price of natural gas, of course, it's higher as well. Price of equipment. Back you look in the 80s and 90s, a brand new tractor would run you somewhere around $90,000. Now there's new tractors out there that'll touch $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
And with all that being said, and of course, crop genetics have come a long way, and they're able to produce more, but it still doesn't change the fact that they're still getting paid about the same for that commodity.
Right.
And at least I'm fortunate now that I can set my price for what I'm selling, the product that I'm making.
Yeah.
But whenever I was farming, it was whatever I signed into a contract for, or you were taking market price. And this year, especially this year, it's going to be tough on a lot of guys.
Yeah.
There's going to be I know of a few that are multi-generational farms that probably will not be in operation next year.
And that's rough because we've got I saw a number I think earlier today that there's 283,000 farms in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, I think it was Texas. There's something like that. But you've got them trying to produce enough food and resources for 25 million Texans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, farmers, as their percentage of the population make up a little less than 2% of the entire population of the United States. But of that 2%, of that 2%, they collectively spend more than 80% of the population.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it's probably because they drive those John Deere tractors. Those aren't cheap.
No, they're not.
But yeah, I mean, we got to understand that some of these things when we're talking about, you're not cheap enough. Your price is too high. You got to understand the math. The math is where you live and die on. It's your bread and butter.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't understand that, in order to be solvent as a business, you've got to make profit. But you know what? I also need my suppliers to be solvent too, or else I don't have a supplier.
Absolutely. And I know there's been back and forth, especially on the Facebook groups of pricing, and there's some people that unfortunately have taken a stance of that the way that they are particularly pricing things is the way to go, and that the rest of us that we're out of line and that we're price gougers or something like that. And of course, the individuals that have said that, I don't know what their business is like. I don't know what their business model is like. But I can say that whenever I first started out, before I had a brick and mortar location, whenever I was ordering everything just cut and lettered and sent to me, and the only thing I had was a setting truck. Yeah, I was able to charge different prices then. But I would never be able to grow to the point that I want without the brick and mortar location I have and all the equipment I have.
But I did the same thing as I started, right? I mean, it started out, so in 2006, whenever I would sell something, I would sell a monument and I would have my vendor supply and letter, and I did the install. And it eliminated all the risk, a lot of the risk, but
oh yeah,
I paid to eliminate that risk. It cost money. And so as things progressed and I sold more, I got to realizing that there were two issues that I had. One, I wasn't making any money. I couldn't scale. And most of it was because I'm paying my vendor to sandblast all my material. Well, okay, so that's eating up a massive chunk of it, of what it is. So you have to realize that
because in some cases you're paying more to sandblast the granite than what the actual piece of granite cost you.
Oh, absolutely.
In a lot of cases.
Yeah. And especially if you're talking about gray granite.
Oh yeah, definitely so.
So now you move into it and you go, well, I'm cutting, if I'm cutting that out and I'm doing it myself, I'm taking on the risk, but I've got to pay myself for that. So that doesn't mean that now that I'm doing that myself, I cut my price. No, I've got to pay myself. I've got to be able to cover that potential risk if something happens. And so you do. And then the same thing with like that setting truck I've got. It's not cheap. It costs me to run it. I've got to put fuel in it. Diesel's not cheap. Now you got to put that stupid DEF crap in it.
Oh my God.
The different pieces of equipment we have to set things are not cheap. Heck, a hand truck is what, $1,500? And you go like, but you need it.
Oh yeah. Whenever I bought my first hand truck, I think I paid $700 some odd for it.
Yep. So
things have changed.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So it's not cheap at all.
No.
But so yeah, we just do our thing. Yeah. Keep our feet underneath us.
Yeah. Just keep paddling.
Just keep swimming.
Right. Every now and then you get a hole in the boat and you got to do your best to plug it, and
that's it.
Bail out and keep going.
Yep. So, all right. Well, what else you got going on this weekend? Anything?
Man, for the first time in a long time, or for the first time in forever, whatever.
Yeah.
I think I have a weekend that I do not have anything scheduled. No baseball practice, no cheer competition, no anything. So, Lord willing, I'm going to try to sleep in tomorrow for the first time in a long time. Well, I slept in on Tuesday morning, but
well, the individual that had to catch that flight at the wee early hours of the morning texted me and was like, that they made it to one scheduled layover, and it was 10 something. And I just responded back that I slept until 8:30.
he texted me about 30 minutes after I got home, and of course he was saying, nice to meet you, looking forward to seeing you in the future. And I replied back, I said, hey, great to meet you too, bud. Look forward to seeing you. As of this morning, I don't feel the greatest in the world, and if I don't feel good, I know you feel like absolute hell. And he replied back and he said, you are correct. But that, of course, it being my first convention, it was just kind of convenient that it's only 2 hours up the road from me. So
yeah.
And the speed limit from Oklahoma City to Lawton is 80. And so that means you set the cruise on 85. And then once you get past Lawton, it goes down to 75. And I think Interstate 44 from Lawton to Burt Burnett is still the same old wagon trails that was used back in the day.
Oh yeah. Did you have to pull the arrows out of the side of your truck?
I waited till I got home. I wanted to be safe. Made sure I was back on the, made sure I got across the red before I make that move.
Oh man. We've got a little bit of a busy weekend. We got the football game tomorrow. It's a 11:00 kick for Texas A&M against Mizzou. For you Mizzou Tiger fans that are that are going to run your mouth, I'm going to go, that's fine. Yeah. But you still can't spell Missouri with a Z.
That's true. Speaking of sports.
No.
Yeah, we're going down this path. No, we're going down it because I got to see where you're at the moment. And it's also me checking up on you, because obviously the Rangers did not make it out, into the postseason. The Astros did. And now the Astros are out.
No, it was like I feel like it was 10 minutes.
Yeah,
it was fairly quick. But you and I talked about that. I said I didn't think that this was not their year.
No, definitely not.
Even some of the things that you were seeing, like from the pundits and stuff, they were there. Oh no, yeah, the Astros are picked to make it the whole way. I said I don't think so.
Right.
And I just
so. But who are you pulling for to win the World Series?
It's a little heart-wrenching, though, that it was AJ Hinch that took us out.
Very true.
It's he got us the first one, took us out at the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm torn. I like the Phillies.
I'm hoping for Phillies or Royals.
I like.
I'm a big fan of Bobby Witt Jr.
I like Baltimore as well.
They're out.
They're out.
Yeah, the Royals put the O's out.
Where's Cleveland? Out?
No, they're still in the run.
I like Cleveland as well. There's like
I don't like the name.
They're always the Indians. I don't care. Here's the problem, and actually, I brought this up to Monica Johns while we were there. There's a special place in my heart for Cleveland Indians. And it's only because one of my when I was in Little League, I was on the Cleveland Indians.
Oh,
and
I thought you was going to say Major League.
Oh well, that too. But that was the team that I started off on, and that was the team that we won our city championship with.
There you go.
So yeah, I like the Cleveland Indians. I like Chief Wahoo. So you can forget your stupid Guardian. It's on a stupid bridge.
The Guardian of Traffic. If anything, when they changed the name, they should have gone to the Cleveland Spiders because that's what the team was before it became the Indians. At least have like some nostalgia to it.
Yeah.
Don't name it after a statue on a bridge, which is dubbed the Guardian of Traffic.
Yeah, I mean that's like the Washington football team.
Gosh. I really hope one day that history treats this event that we're in like fairly, that one day people will look back and say people from this point to this point lost their ever-loving minds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you know what? As much as I can't stand because the team because they've become a dynasty, the Kansas City Chiefs, you know what? Good on them for holding true.
Yeah.
You know, good on.
I just don't care about Taylor Swift.
I don't either. Good on the Atlanta Braves for holding true.
Mm-hmm.
I have a hard time liking the Atlanta Braves. I mean, I'd like them more than I like LA.
100%. LA's become the new Yankees.
I like them more than I like the Yankees. You know,
there were even calls at one point in time for the Texas Rangers to change their name because the Texas Rangers are named after the law enforcement agency, the Texas Rangers, and a lot of people were wanting to talk about the racist past of the Texas Rangers and how it's offensive for that team to carry that name. And there were calls to change it. Unfortunately, the owner of the Texas Rangers, Mr. Ray Davis, he doesn't ever speak to it personally. He just puts his people out to make the statements, and they were real quick to shut that down, that there was no intention that would ever happen.
You know what? I'd have a lot less respect for them if they did that.
Mm-hmm. It's also the only major league organization that doesn't celebrate a certain night that all other organizations do. And again, that's to Mr. Ray Davis's credit as well.
Good on them.
Mm-hmm.
Good on them. Stick to your guns.
Now, I was kind of hoping that the Astros would have stayed in, because if it's the Texas team, I'm going to pull for the Texas team, because I would at least recorded one of these podcasts wearing an Astros hat. And
you can still do it.
I still could, but I still got the T up there. That the red, white, and blue don't run.
Yeah, you're right.
But like we talked over, our time at AICA, that next season, I'd like to come down to Houston, meet y'all for a game. Yep. And I don't know if we want to do it whenever the Rangers are in Houston, because if the Rangers are in Houston, I'm still wearing the red, white, and blue. But there's a part of me wants to do it whenever the Rangers aren't there, so we can all go as Astros fans. We can all get along. We can all cheer for the same team. I can still
buy you a shirt while you're there if that's it.
Right. And then, of course, we'll have it to where y'all come up and we come watch a game in Arlington. And
I'd love to go to Globe Life.
Oh yeah.
My problem is really I'll be honest with you, where it all comes down. My hatred for the Rangers stems in the fact that I don't like Dallas. That's it. Bunch of pretentious people.
They're not called the Dallas Rangers, though.
Where they at?
Arlington.
See, and that's the same excuse that everybody from Dallas uses.
I know.
They're the Dallas Cowboys, right?
And I tried to argue this with you whenever we was together a few days back. And like, it was one of those arguments to where I was like, I know I'm right. And then you bring up how everybody, in the Dallas area kind of uses that. And I'm like, asshole's got a point. Yeah. So I get it.
Yeah. Bay Area people are the same, right?
True. Very true.
It's Oakland. It's not San Francisco. You're all Bay Area. You talk about it to be in the Bay Area.
And of course we didn't mention this one, but it's like whenever we were in Oklahoma City, and then I found out that we were going to be see a trophy company.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea what we were going to, and my first thought was, a trophy company? Like, really? That's what we're doing here? And I didn't realize that it was like the trophy company. And for those that don't know, the name of the company is MTM Recognition.
Mm-hmm.
They manufacture a lot of the bowl trophies that you see for college football. They manufacture all of the NCAA trophies.
Mm-hmm.
They make the Heisman Trophy.
Yep.
NASCAR.
All of the NASCAR trophies.
Yes. And that place was outstanding. It surpassed every expectation I had of it. But of course, we said we were going to be in Oklahoma City. Well, whenever we get there, we were informed we're in Dell City, not Oklahoma City. But nothing ever changed.
No, you didn't know you crossed a tax zone. You had no
Exactly.
idea. Yeah. There's some little green sign stuck behind a branch somewhere that nobody saw.
Right.
There wasn't a population change or, population number. Nope, not at all.
Right.
That's like when I say go to Moore to get to Black Rifle Coffee there in Oklahoma. You don't know the difference. You're still on 35. You're like a bad Pat Green song, southbound 35, headed for the border. So it's, you don't realize that Moore is the same thing as Oklahoma City.
That's correct.
So,
yep, just a different taxing jurisdiction.
That's it.
All it is.
That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
So good on them. Whatever.
Yep.
Go do your thing. I guess. I don't know. Whatever.
Right.
Well, at least whenever you go to Houston, they put big signs up. Welcome to the Woodlands, or which are gaudy. And they got too much money for that crap too. So whatever.
Right.
I'm not bitter at all.
No, not at all.
We literally, so that I can be on record for staying true to this argument. Bryan College Station, Twin Cities, share a city line. Okay, on the main road between the two towns, there is literally, whether it's on Highway 6 or Texas Avenue, there are signs telling you when you've left College Station and entered Bryan, and vice versa. No, you're no longer in Bryan. You're in College Station. No, you're no longer in College Station. Welcome to Bryan. That's it. We know.
Right. I mean, one side, says you're entering the Branch Davidian compound. The other side says you're leaving it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hey, look, we put the cult in agriculture. Okay.
Well, on that note.
Oh man.
Yeah, I think we went a little long on this one, but
yeah. You know what? Enjoy. You can shut it off when you want to.
Absolutely.
For the rest of y'all, thanks for coming along. We'll catch you on the next one. We'll see you. We'll see you in Ada.
Yep, coming up soon, the 18th.
18th.
SMBA workshop. Again, for any of those out there that want to join, we encourage you sign up. If you're not a member of SMBA, become a member of SMBA, because it'll be cheaper to join SMBA than it will be to pay to go.
Just become a member of SMBA. Suck it up. It's only an extra $75.
Mm-hmm.
And then
you will have the distinction of saying that you were a member of the Southern Monument Builders.
Yeah, and I don't care if you're from Ohio or California, New York, Washington State. City. Man, that's an old salsa commercial.
It is.
So, all right, guys, we'll catch y'all on the next one. Have a good one.
Have a good one.